Picture this, squatted down with a pool of blood in front of me from a shooting victim shot in the head. I check for a pulse. She has one. I begin rescue breathing. The smell of iron from the blood fills the air. The sound of radio traffic is muffled in the background as emergency lights flicker off the walls. My heart is beating so fast, my hands are shaking. All the training I had been through in the last few years coming together. Think fast, act competently and swift, my brain echoes. Off to the hospital we go, IVs in place and breathing tubes secured. Unfortunately, the patient would later succumb to her injury, but I knew I had done everything within my power to give her a fighting chance. This call was my very first trauma call I would experience as a paramedic in charge of a patient during my career on the ambulance or the boo-boo bus. My career would play out like this for the next 16 years, all here in Decatur-Macon County, working for Decatur Ambulance Service. It would consist of thousands of calls over the years and what felt like 1,000,000 miles of driving. At the time, EMS and fire was still a male-dominated field, and to say things were easy for females back in the day would be completely exaggerating. But unaffected by the stereotype placed on women, I established and proved myself time and time again as a competent and capable paramedic, and I had gained the trust and respect of all my peers. During this time, I also got to be part of the first female crew at Decatur Ambulance Service. You see, two females never worked together before at Decatur Ambulance due to all the heavy lifting. Oh, the looks we got, the shit we took, and all the men that thought we couldn't lift them, let's just say I made hella lunch money. Most people that I encountered were usually experiencing the worst days of their lives. And it was my job and my passion to try to make a difference. But as the years went by, I realized how much all these experiences, good and bad, had changed me. It helped me grow and learn firsthand just how short and how precious this one life we have is. I learned how important it is to always be present with the people you love and care about. Don't sweat the small stuff and forgive often. I guess you could say I grew up on the boo-boo bus. And I for sure knew if you wanted something, you had to work hard for it. Also within this time, my family grew. And in 1999, I moved in with the love of my life, my best friend Laura. Between the two of us, we had 5 kids. 3 boys, 2 girls, all under the age of 8. Our friends thought we were completely crazy, and definitely a lot of people thought we wouldn't last or make it. But onward we went to raise some of the most kind, loving, intelligent, well-rounded people, but each different in their own way. From this, we built a strong family core. Gave me such strength, I felt like I could move mountains. And finally, I had grounded purpose in my soul. You see, more than anything, I wanted to be that example, that role model for all my kids and for women everywhere. As the years rolled on, I continued to push forward, chasing my other childhood dream to be a firefighter. Finally, after trying out for Decatur Fire Department 6 times, roughly over a 12-year period, on my last chance, I got the call. The call that would begin the next chapter. The call that would begin the next chapter of my life. My career with the Decatur Fire Department would begin in September of 2007 at 37 years of age. Talk about the stars and the universe aligning. So needless to say, I hit the ground running, literally. Fire academy and a year probation. That was my life for the next year. Luckily for me, my years on the boo-boo bus had prepared me for working in a male-dominated field. Onward I pushed over the next 13 years, fighting fire, slaying the beast as we like to call it, scuba diving, running lots of EMS calls, and sometimes all this just within one 24-hour shift. I loved every minute of it. This would eventually fuel my desire to step up and lead, which meant testing for lieutenant. You see, there had never in the history of Decatur Fire Department, since 1884, been a female fire officer. And I actually was only the third female firefighter in Decatur's history. The next testing process for lieutenant would begin late 2020. My kids by this time had graduated and were grown adults. My wife and I had gotten legally married, and we became grandparents. I am Meemaw, or Mean Maw, as the grandkids like to call me. My wife is Grandma. With all the suck that was going on in 2020, COVID I'm referring to, life was good. I was living my childhood dreams and all my passions. But little did I know, the universe had other plans for me. And on September 11th of 2020, my life would be flipped upside down. I was in a motorcycle wreck just around the corner from here. I had laid down my oldest son's Harley, and as I slid to a stop under the bike, the worst pain I have ever felt shot up from my left knee. And let me tell you, I've had 3 kids. It hurt. I lay in the middle of the street, stuck helplessly, my family, my career flashing through my mind. My diagnosis was a shattered left tibia plateau, or lower part of your knee. It is where the 2 bones in your lower leg come together to support the weight of your body. Luckily, I had an amazing doctor that repaired my knee with 2 plates and many screws. He told me 1 year off work, minimal, with no guarantee I would ever be able to do my job as a firefighter paramedic again. I was devastated, felt hopeless, and worst of all, stuck flat on my back in a hospital bed in my den, unable to move or even wipe my own butt. Let's just say I learned how much my wife really loves me over the few months. Therapy started immediately, and I would be totally lying if I said it didn't suck. Now remember how I said lieutenant testing would be starting late 2020? I decided to take full advantage of my situation, being off work, and I studied my ass off. I went to my oral interview with the city in December of 2020, only 3 months after my wreck, still using a walker. But when the lieutenant's list had finally came out in February, I had placed number 2. By March of 2021, I was officially promoted on paper to lieutenant for Decatur Fire Department. But still, unable to work, there was one more thing I needed to do, and that was return to full duty after injury. I continued to push myself with the support of my family, friends, coworkers, and an amazing therapist who kicked my butt on the regular. Blessed and thankful, in October of 2021, I was able to return to full active duty. Standing Yeah, still standing right here before you today, I am currently serving as the first female lieutenant for the city of Decatur Fire Department. Both my careers have now spanned over 32 years, and I am humbled and honored to have broken a few glass ceilings. I have one of the best jobs in the world, an absolutely amazing, thriving family, and I work with the greatest group of brothers and sisters a girl could ask for. I am looking forward, though, to passing the baton off to my badass sisters, the next generation of female firefighters. And as I reflect back on this time, I want to share the 3 most important lessons I have learned. Number 1, ladies, most men gossip far more than women do. I have seen it. I have lived it. It's some drama. Number 2, quality men, they don't worry about equality. They work by your side. They have your back. They are your brothers. And most importantly, number 3, if you find something you love to do like I did, it really isn't like working a day in your life.